I always thought Bigfoot stories were just campfire tales. My name is Michael Turner, a wildlife photographer who has spent half his life roaming the Appalachians in search of the unusual. But what I saw in the fall of 2022 near Clingman's Dome changed my perception of the world forever. My friend Ethan and I had planned a night expedition to record coyote and owl sounds. We carried thermal cameras, recorders, and headlamps. Around 11:47 p.m., the forest went silent. No crickets, no wind, just the echo of nothingness. Ethan stopped and whispered, "Mike, do you hear that?" I didn't hear anything, and that was exactly what scared me. 5 minutes later, the recorder picked something up, a deep, wet growl, almost like a bear's roar, but stretched with a faintly human tone. I turned on the thermal camera. About 30 meters away, a massive figure, at least 8 feet tall, moved between the trees. It walked upright, slow and heavy, its body heat glowing a deep red on the screen. Ethan wanted to get closer. I yelled at him not to. But stubborn as ever, he advanced with the flashlight. The beam barely touched the silhouette. Dark brown fur, shoulders as wide as a doorframe, long arms hanging near the ground. Then the creature turned. I swear, its eyes reflected the light in an amber hue like trapped fire. The growl came again, louder this time, vibrating through my chest. I ran toward Ethan, but something massive moved between us. Branches snapped, and a heavy thud followed. I screamed his name. No answer. I searched for hours until my flashlight flickered out. At dawn, I found his camera shattered near an uprooted tree. From the recovered memory card, one photo showed a dark shape behind him just before the final flash. The police claimed a bear had attacked him, saying my testimony was distorted by shock. A week later, I went back alone, without telling anyone. I brought another recorder. At the exact spot where Ethan vanished, I heard his voice, faint like an echo. "Mike, help me." But it wasn't his voice. Something was mimicking it, lower, distorted, almost mechanical. Seconds later came that same growl, closer than before. I didn't wait. I ran downhill without looking back. Since that night, I haven't slept peacefully. Sometimes, during windless nights, my field recordings capture heavy breathing and footsteps trailing mine when I'm supposed to be alone. And deep within that forest, among the damp pines and shadows, I swear it's still there. My name is Lucas Redding, and I'm a forest ranger in Clay County, West Virginia. I've spent 13 years patrolling the Appalachian Mountains, and I can recognize the sound of almost every animal that lives in these woods. But what I heard one night in August 2021 was unlike anything I've ever known. It was supposed to be a routine shift. I had to inspect a section of the Silent Trail, a rarely traveled path where some campers had reported strange noises and trees being knocked down. I left at dusk, alone, with my flashlight, a body camera, and a GPS. The air was thick, heavy, as if the mountain itself was breathing around me. Around 10:30 p.m., the forest began to go quiet, one sound at a time. No crickets, no owls, only the wind. Then, a sharp crack echoed in the distance, the sound of a log snapping. I thought it might be a bear, but something didn't add up. The noises were rhythmic, as if someone, or something, was hitting trees with tremendous force. I decided to record the sound. As I moved deeper into the forest, I caught a stench in the air, a mix of wet fur, soil, and something acidic, almost like decaying meat. Every instinct screamed at me to turn back, but curiosity won. A few meters ahead, I heard footsteps, bipedal, heavy. There was no doubt. I raised my flashlight, sweeping the beam in a slow arc. Between the trees, I saw a massive figure,
at least 8 feet tall, taking up nearly the entire width of the trail. Its chest was broad, its arms long, its movements slow but powerful. I could hear its breathing, rough, deep, deliberate. I stepped back. The creature turned its head toward me. Its eyes glowed faintly, catching the light with a golden reflection. For one fleeting moment, I swear I saw confusion in its expression, as if it didn't understand what I was. A twig snapped under my boot. The silence shattered. Then came the roar, so low and forceful that my chest ached from the vibration. I ran downhill, stumbling through roots and stones, too terrified to look back. The sound of its steps followed, each one closer, like drums pounding from within the earth. I tripped and fell. The flashlight went out. Darkness swallowed everything. I could hear only my own breathing, and his. It was close, the sound of air rushing from enormous lungs. A deep snort, then nothing. The forest fell dead silent. Minutes passed before I dared to move. When I turned the flashlight back on, there was nothing in front of me, only massive footprints disappearing into the brush. One of them was fresh, so deep that water still dripped from the mud. I made it back to camp at sunrise. I reviewed the footage from my body cam. You couldn't see the face, but you could hear the tree knocks, the roar, and at one point a huge arm covered in dark hair passing right in front of the lens. I sent it to the department. They told me it was probably a bear, but I know the truth. There's something out there in those mountains, something that walks like us, but isn't human. And when the forest goes completely silent, it means he's near.
My name is Daniel Harker, and what I'm about to tell happened in March 2019, deep within the northern Appalachians, near the Pennsylvania border. I don't usually talk about it. No one believes me, but I lost a friend that night, and keeping it to myself feels like losing him twice. My companion Alan Brooks and I were enthusiasts of extreme hiking. We had planned a 3-day trek through the forest, mapping forgotten trails and old shelters. On the second day, a storm forced us to take refuge in an abandoned cabin beside a thaw-fed creek. The rain fell as if the sky itself were collapsing. Alan went out to gather firewood before dark. Minutes passed, then hours. Darkness came without warning. The wind carried a strong smell, wet earth mixed with rusted iron. I told myself it was just the mud, but something in the air made my skin crawl. It was around 10 o'clock when I heard it. Footsteps, slow, dragging through the mud outside the cabin. It wasn't Alan. Those steps were too heavy. I turned off the flashlight and looked through the cracked window. Between the trees, I saw an enormous figure moving through the rain. It walked upright, each step sinking deep into the ground. When lightning lit up the forest, I saw it clearly, a gigantic creature covered in dark, matted hair, shoulders broader than a doorframe, and a face half human, hidden beneath soaked strands. I didn't breathe. The being stopped right in front of the door. I could hear it breathing, deep, animal-like, as if the air itself was too heavy to exhale. Then came a single hard knock. The wood shuddered. I swallowed. "Alan?" I whispered. Nothing. Only that rhythmic sound. Inhale, exhale. Closer. The latch snapped on the third blow. The flashlight rolled across the floor, briefly lighting up its mud-covered legs. The stench was overpowering, wet fur, rot, and rain. The Bigfoot leaned forward, staring at me. Its eyes were dark, glistening with a strange, wet depth. I didn't see hatred or rage, but just something that felt like curiosity mixed with warning. I was shaking, the rifle at my feet. I couldn't move. It growled, a low, rumbling sound, and then stepped back into the storm, vanishing into the darkness. I waited for what felt like hours before running out with the flashlight. I called Alan's name until my voice broke. Following the tracks, huge, each one sunk more than 4 inches deep, I reached the creek. His jacket floated there. No blood, just that piece of fabric, and the creature's footprints stopping abruptly by the water's edge. They never found his body. The police said the current took him, but I know what I saw. Since that night, whenever storms hit the mountains and the air grows thick, that same smell returns. Wet, sour, unmistakable. And I can't help but wonder if he's still out there, guarding what once was his.
My name is Tomas Legrand, mountain guide in the northern Appalachians. I've been walking those trails for over 15 years, and nothing had prepared me for what I saw last autumn near Monongahela National Forest, West Virginia. I had agreed to guide a French couple who wanted an authentic experience, camping in places few people ever reach. We followed an old trail, barely visible beneath the fallen leaves. When the fog rolled in that afternoon, we decided to camp by a stream. The air smelled of damp earth and iron, as if the ground itself were bleeding. That night, while we cooked, we heard movement uphill. I thought it was deer, but the footsteps were too heavy, and their rhythm wasn't that of 4 legs. It was steady, deliberate, bipedal. The woman, frightened, switched off her flashlight. Silence. Then a crack. Another. Something or someone was watching us through the mist. Around 2 in the morning, a stench flooded the camp, a mix of animal sweat, rotting soil, and wet fur. I grabbed my rifle, though deep down I knew it wouldn't help if this was what I thought it was. The fog moved as if it were breathing. Then we saw it, a massive silhouette outlined by the faint moonlight. It wasn't a bear. It stood over 8 feet tall, chest broad and covered in dark fur, head slightly bowed. It moved quietly, yet every step made the ground tremble. The French couple hid inside the tent. I stood still, barely daring to blink. The creature stopped at the stream, crouched down, plunged a huge hand into the water, and brought it to its mouth. The sound of water dripping off its skin was so vivid, so physical, I knew I wasn't dreaming. When it lifted its head, I saw its face clearly, covered in short hair, with small but expressive eyes. It didn't look aggressive, just curious. I stayed quiet, but a can fell inside the tent. The Bigfoot turned sharply. It let out a low guttural growl, so deep it seemed to shake the air itself. Then it straightened, took a few heavy strides, and disappeared into the forest. We didn't sleep for the rest of the night. At dawn, we found footprints in the mud, each the size of an open hand. Nearby, branches were snapped more than 7 feet above the ground. The soil was covered in hand marks, as if it had inspected our belongings. I've never seen anything like it again, but every time the fog drifts down those mountains, when the birds fall silent and the air grows thick, I feel that same presence. And though people laugh when I tell the story, I know it for certain. We are not alone in the Appalachian Mountains.